Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode. I think it's time for another rebranding. I feel like, oh, what fun! That name and that vibe and that brand was so specific to a certain time of my life where I was just having so much fun every single second. And I think I've come to realize that life is really not that fun all the time, especially as you're growing up in your 20s. And so I really want to rebrand. I feel like a lot of the things that I talk about on these episodes are about being in your 20s and advice that I would give someone who's going through the same walk of life as me, and just some things that I've been learning as I've turned 20 and as I'm growing up. And I think this is like copyrighted technically because SZA has a song called 20 something, but I want to call this podcast 20 somethings. And I think just like, of course, if this is still going and live and active when I'm 30, maybe I'll have to change it to 30 somethings, but I feel like 20 somethings is so perfect and on brand for like literally everything that I talk about and everything that I'm going through. And so I think that's just kind of what we're going to change it to. And I'm not just going to change the whole podcast. Like, I'm not going to talk about completely different things. It'll be the exact same. But I just think that name and that like brand, as I'm saying, really fits everything that this podcast is and everything that I want it to be. So, without further ado, welcome to an episode of 20 something. I'm 20, as I think you guys know. I feel like I say that in every single episode. Today, we have a lot to talk about. I wrote everything down on my notes. As you can see, there's a lot of writing on there. I'm still not trying to make these episodes super long, however, so I'm going to try to cover everything pretty fast. But I'm really excited to be here and talk to you guys. I feel like you guys are like my family and my friends, even if we are not communicating every single day. So this is just so special to me, and I'm just so excited. So let's jump right in. Talking about being 20, I think we need to remember to do it for the sake of doing it. I have that written down and I want to get that literally tattooed in my brain. There are so many things that are happening right now that it's like you kind of have to navigate through life and choose like what should I do and what opportunities should I take advantage of. But I think we need to remember to just do things for the sake of doing them. Like, even if it's not the most productive, or when I'm saying this I'm thinking like, go out with your friends, stay up late talking to that person, like go do that activity even if it scares you, because we're 20, we're so young. 20s, I have equals young, stupid, free. Young, stupid, and free. That's literally how I describe myself right now. I'm so young. I'm literally like at 10% of my lifespan. I feel like I just popped out of the world and I'm just like, here I am. Let's fucking go. And I think I am I'm a very smart girl, but I do make some very stupid decisions. And I think right now, at this stage in life, you can pin some of those decisions on being 20 and just be like, you know what? I made that decision and I blacked out with my friends at the club, but that's a story to tell that adds to my lore, adds to my character, and I'm 20 and I'm young, you know? You don't have to have everything figured out. You don't have to be so adult all the time. Being an adult is so hard. It's so much work. It's so much harder than it looked like. I feel like as a kid, I wanted to be an adult so bad. I was always like playing games and make believe that I was the adult in the situation. And I really just wish I could go back to being in high school, because being an adult actually fucking sucks. I was literally crying in my car the other day because I was like, I feel like as soon as one good thing comes into my life, three bad things also come with it. So it's like you can never fully enjoy the moment without thinking like, oh my god, I have this bill due and this bill due and this problem to deal with and this, you know? So let's just live our lives and be 20 and just run around and be free. You have no real responsibilities besides yourself. Like, I feel like I have a lot. I have work, I have school, I have whatever. But at the end of the day, it's just me. I'm only taking care of one human being. And so, why am I not taking care of myself to the fullest, you know? live your life, do the things that are kind of scary or big or fun, dramatic. Like, just live and do that and have fun. And I think that's something I'm really struggling with because as I said, I feel like I have a lot of problems on my plate. And so I'm trying to just navigate the world through such an adult lens and like, what adult decisions am I going to have to make today? And what adult things am I going to have to do? And yes, I am fully an adult and I do need to be responsible and mature, but I'm also only 2 years into that. You know, we just turned adults at 18, I guess, legally. So it's like you're a baby adult. I'm a 2-year-old adult. Like, I, 2-year-olds, you don't put pressure on them to have everything figured out. You don't put pressure on them to only go to work and only go to school and save every single penny that you have. Like, a 2-year-old is young and free and stupid, and that is literally how we are at this point in our lives. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? So that's something that I'm really going to be trying to work on, especially as the rest of the summer goes on because it's summer 2026, July. I live in Florida. I live in Tampa. I'm 40 minutes away from the beach. I'm 10 minutes away from my favorite coffee shop. My friends are all around me. Like, there's no reason for me to be living a burdened life. And yes, I have things going on, and life isn't perfect. No one is ever going to be completely, fully happy 100% like this is the best day of my life. But you are allowed to have those kinds of days. You are allowed to just go out and hang out with your friends and spend a little bit of money and, make some of those not the best choices that might make your parents a little bit like, ooh, what are my kids doing? You're allowed to do those things. I feel like sometimes I just really stop myself from doing those things, but I am on a path to get there because you have to you have to balance it out. There's going to be bad, there's going to be trauma, there's going to be things you're going to have to deal with, decisions you're going to have to make, heavy conversations you're going to have, but you also can like have a drink, smoke, like you can run around the city, you can go out with your friends, you can go to the beach, you can get sunburnt on the 4th of July, you can eat too many hot dogs. Like, you are fully allowed and honestly expected to do that. I think we don't let ourselves do that. And I think maybe social media has another part in that because everyone you see on social media, they're not posting when they're like down in the dumps. They're posting when they got the internship, they got the job, they started their own business, they maxed out in the gym. And it kind of puts a lot of pressure on us as young impressionable viewers because then we think we're behind. We think, okay, well, that influencer is 21 years old and has her own business and is making, you know, 8 figures a month, and I'm over here like struggling to pay rent. Like, you compare yourself to the people that you see on the internet, but that's not a realistic goal. That's not realistic. The average age of someone getting their life together is not 21. Okay? You're finding love at 20 years old and finding the person you want to marry. That's so amazing if you do, but that's not average. That's not the comparison level, you know? And social media just puts everything on such a very high track. Like this podcast, for example, it's not realistic for me to have this podcast up and blooming and millions of viewers at 20 years old when I just started it a couple weeks ago. But on social media, that is exactly how other people seem. And so it's so easy to compare them. But remember, your life is not their life. Your path is not their path. And you need to be on your path and you need to live your life. And so that's something that I'm really working on. I feel like that's a perfect way to start this episode because, of course, this all ties into this name change, brand change, like overall just rebranding. Be fucking 20 and have such a good time. Drink and smoke and laugh and just do stupid stuff and go on side quests and get a lot of crazy stories to tell your friends. And sometimes you might not even fall asleep until 4 a.m. and that is so okay and that is so normal and expected. Do that. So, that being said, guys, check on your friends. Check on yourself, check on your friends. I think that's a very important thing, and we often forget because we have so much going on and it's hard to remember to check on your friends, but you really should be checking on your friends and check on yourself. Are you okay? Are you doing okay? Are you happy? Are you eating? Are you sleeping? Are you taking care of your body? Are you getting exercise? Are you okay? That's obviously you can be like, yeah, I'm fine. Yeah, I'm good. But are you? When was the last time you sat down with yourself in complete silence and asked yourself, like, am I doing okay? Am I enjoying life? Am I living or am I surviving? I've been having, I think, I don't want to, it's not diagnosed, but I think I have insomnia. I have this problem where I will get ready for bed, I'll turn in for the night, go to bed early, get in bed, and it feels like at the minute my head hits the pillow, my brain like turns on and my body's like, ah. My body is like an angel rising from the grave, and suddenly I'm awake. And so this has been happening for months now. I think 2 months, I would say. And that's not good. Obviously, I am not getting enough sleep that I should be getting at this age, and it doesn't feel like it's affecting me, but I know it is. I know it's affecting my brain, my body, my performance. And I recently sat down with myself and I was like, "Hey, Joy, like, are you doing okay? Like, is everything okay?" And I was like, "You know what? I haven't slept a full 8 hours in the night, probably since school was in session. And mind you, it's July and school ended in April. So that's something that I was like, you know what? I'm actually not okay. As much as I seem okay and as much as I'm able to still wake up in the morning after 2, 3, 4 hours of sleep in the night, and I still feel like I'm able to function and I'm able to do exactly what I need to do. I had to sit down and tell myself, like, wait, no, you're actually not okay. You actually need to make an appointment and see a doctor because that's not okay. And I think in your 20s, you don't have your parents always necessarily sitting there, like, holding your hand and telling you, hey, I noticed you didn't sleep last night. Are you okay? Do you need me to help you? So we have to take care of ourselves. You take care of your body, and your body is a vessel. And without taking care of it, obviously that's not good. And it's not that I'm trying not to sleep, it's not that I'm meaning to stay up late. And I know people mistake it for that because I love a side quest, especially at night. I've always been a night owl since I was a very, very little kid, but I am able to recognize that this is not just loving a side quest. It's obviously something more. It's something in my brain, something with my body, something that needs to be checked out. And I didn't really realize how big of a problem it was until I sat down with myself in complete silence and just was like, wait, are you doing okay? Is everything okay? And then I was like, wait, no, it's not. I'm not sleeping. I'm having some eating problems. I'm having some skin disorder problems from the sun. I'm like, there's a lot of things that aren't okay, but I can really just like put it in a box and kind of put it away so I can, get through the days. And it's important to remember you are human. Everything's not going to be okay all the time. So ask yourself, am I okay? And then ask your friends too. Check in on your friends. That's so important. I've recently been trying to be there for my friends a lot, and that does not mean not taking care of yourself because you're pouring so much into your friends, and usually that's what ends up happening for me. But you can check on your friends and be there for your friends and still be there for yourself. Enough depressing talk. Let's talk about, oh my gosh, okay. Question of the day. I heard this on a TikTok and it's actually such a good question, so I really want to know what you guys think. Would you rather feel all the pain that you will ever feel in your entire lifespan all up front at once and then never feel pain again for the rest of your life? Okay, that's option one. Option two is just stick to our current situation. You feel pain day in, day out whenever it comes. And I'm talking about any kind of pain, mental, physical, emotional, like trauma, bones breaking, like every single painful moment that you will ever have in your life. Feel that all in one span, like in a 24-hour period where you're just in pain and then never feel pain again for the rest of your life. But that pain is like, it could be, you never know what kind of pain you're going to go through. Like in 3 days, I might break my leg. That's going to be a horrible pain. So that would happen. One time when I was little, I slammed my finger into the door and that was like the worst pain ever. That pain I'm feeling the pain of your first heartbreak, feeling the pain of your first fight with your mom, like every single moment of pain that you ever will have in your life, feeling it in a 24-hour period all at once and then never again, sticking to our current I feel pain today, I don't feel pain tomorrow, I broke my leg today, whatever, or feeling no pain throughout your entire life, not a single bit of pain, and then right before you die, feeling every single moment of pain from your life in a 24-hour span, and then you die. Which one would you rather? I think I'm sticking to our current situation. I've already felt so much pain in my life, emotionally, mentally, physically, whatever, that I could not do all of that at once. Like, I'm already complaining because, like, for every good thing that happens, there's three bad things that happen. I'm already complaining about that. So, and I'm going through some, like, a few situations right now that are very painful mentally. But I can't imagine going through these three painful situations, plus the pain of, like, the crazy toxic relationship I was in high school, plus the pain of, uh, maybe getting into a car crash when I was 17, plus the pain of this, plus the pain of that. I can't imagine, I can't wrap my brain around the concept of feeling all of those at the same time. I need like a break in between. So I don't think the before or after would work. Also, the after just sounds like terrible because what do you mean you're not going to feel pain your whole life? I think you have to feel pain to like enjoy life. If you never felt anything bad, then how do you know what's good, you know? If you've never felt bad, you'll never really know how good can be. If you've never broken a bone, you'll never know what it feels like when you are able to like if you've broken a leg, you'll never know what it feels like to run on a healed leg. And that's like such a joy. I'm talking about breaking bones as if I've ever broken any. I've never broken a bone in my life. I've never been to the hospital for any like physical injuries. The biggest thing I think that's ever happened. I mean, I've gotten into two car crashes, but neither of them left me like injured necessarily. Um the biggest pain that probably happened to me was when I was like I think 8 or 9 years old. I slammed my thumb into the front door. That's probably like the I didn't go to the hospital. I My mom put an ice bag on it and that was it. So that's probably the biggest pain in my life. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing because maybe it's coming and I just am anticipating it. But I want to hear the answers of people who have broken bones and have gone to the hospital and have had physical pain because that's a completely different game than mental. But mentally, I know that if I was going through a lot of the traumas and stuff that I've gone through in my past, all in a 24-hour period, that sounds like the worst, worst thing I would never wish on my worst enemy. So I don't think that would work for me. And I don't think I'd want to just feel no pain and then all of a sudden it's like, oh my gosh, this is the worst thing that's ever happened to me, the worst pain, and then I die. Oh my gosh. I'd just rather die. Like, honestly. So I think I'd stick to our current situation, but I really do want to hear what other people think, especially people that have like actually gone through physical pain. Tell me guys what you think. All right, moving right on. I'm going to talk about any new lore. This is not new lore, but I'm having a lot of fun recently. Um I went to the club last week with my friends, and obviously, we all popped out. We were all looking great. It was such a fun night. We had so much fun. But the concept of boys approaching you at the club, it's always happens. It always will happen. Some guy is always going to say something. First of all, I hate when boys who are not attractive approach me because I'm like, do they think I'm on their level? Do they think I'm ugly and that they have a chance? Sorry if that sounds vain or whatever, but I genuinely am like, does he think he can get with me or is he confident? If he's confident, I almost want to give him a chance because I will always root for a confident person. But if he thinks it's because I'm on his level, ugh, I don't want to think about that. Anyway, so this boy approached me. He was super nice. We hit it off immediately. I think like the most common line if someone is going to approach you at the club is, "Oh, where are you from?" And when people at the club ask me where I'm from, I will either give them the real answer, which is, "Oh, Iowa. I'm from Iowa." Or I'll give them a fake answer. The fake answer is obviously more fun, and I'll be like, "Oh, I'm from here. I'm from Tampa, born and raised." Or I'll be like, "Oh, like I moved here from New York City." I love to lie at the club because you'll never see them again, right? You think. You think. So we met these boys. He asked me where I'm from. I said Tampa. He just moved here. He said he's in the Air Force. And we hit it off immediately talking about how he joined the Air Force because he felt bad that his parents had to pay for his college because they had to pay for his brother's college and he saw how much work that was. Love a selfless man, okay? You're gonna join the Air Force for that? That's incredible. I think he asked me, this was the day before the 4th of July. So he asked me, like, oh no, my controversial ass. I love to be controversial, especially at the club, because again, as I said, you'll never see them again, or so you think. I said, like, so what are your thoughts on the government? And he, like, laughed, and we're just laughing and joking. And then he's like, hopefully I'll see you again. I'm like, of course, like, bye bye. I'm never gonna see you again. He got my Instagram, DMs me on Instagram, hey, how you're doing? I'm like, hi, I'm doing good. Gonna go for the bit because it's fun to chat with a friend or a stranger, to get to know a stranger, make them a friend. But even as we're, DMing back and forth, it's like, I don't really see this going anywhere because we met at the club. So, like, I put that in its own little box, and like, the club meeting is the club, and like, we can dance and we can talk all night at the club, but the minute I leave, like, that's it. And he's stuck around. And so I recently posted a story on Instagram. I was looking like a baddie, I admit. Little gym baddie moment with a Drake song to even like. And he slid up and he's talking about it and he asked me to go on a date with him. Why? 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 Why do you want to do that? Me and my friends are thinking for the plot and for some character building and some lore building, you can never max out of lore. So it's like, you know what, fun. We hit it off super great at the club, and through our conversations, through our DMs, like the conversation is still really fun and like it's not making me shy away from it. I just don't think this is a boy I want to date. I don't personally think that my soulmate is at Delta downtown in Tampa. I personally don't think so. I don't think my soulmate is even in Tampa. I hope my soulmate is not in Tampa because I want to travel the world and find my soulmate. I don't necessarily want to drive to Bayshore and find them, but even if it's not your soulmate, you can still, it's still character building. It's still even a new friend, a connection, a network person. I know you're not supposed to think the world is just networking, but it's a new connection, you know? What if he's from New York? So what if I'm in New York and I need a place to stay and I'm staying with him and we're hanging out and traveling the city together and that's all that is? That's so incredible and so fun. And that's a friendship that I just fostered at the club on the 4th of July. Do you see what I mean? And so he asked me to go on a date, and I was like, we'll see, like maybe. He's like, what do you like to do? Whatever. And I just said, like, surprise me. I said, surprise me, but it's got to be a good surprise. So now we sit and we wait until this boy takes me on a date. And I'm sure it's going to be a food, beach, gym combo of some sort because I feel like that's all that boys know. I'm hoping that he thinks outside of the box because I am a very, very, very simple girl. My dream date, I was just telling a friend about this the other day. My dream date is like us getting food, but not going out to dinner, not sitting down anywhere. I don't want to be in a fucking gown. I don't want to be in a skirt. I want to be in either like a pair of jorts or my jeans or some baggy sweatpants. I want to be comfortable. I'm going to be in my flip flops. I want us to get food, and it could be anywhere, but specifically like Chipotle, Taco Bell, like not fast food like McDonald's, but fast food, Chick-fil-A, like something we can eat in the car as we drive. I want to drive and talk and play music, and I want to be on aux, but you can join my jam and add songs if you want, and you can tell me like, oh my gosh, you have to listen to this song, and I'm going to put you on BTS because that's what I've been listening to recently. And we're going to analyze every lyric of Olivia Rodrigo's album, and we're going to talk about our childhoods, and we're going to talk about our favorite roads and our favorite memories and our favorite times with our friends. We're just going to talk and we're going to drive, and you can drive if you want to. And if you're driving, my feet are going to be up on the seat, and I'm going to be looking around, I'm going to be looking at you, and I'm going to be on the phone adding songs to the queue, and we're going to be eating our food as we drive, and we're going to be talking and having literally the best time ever. That is my dream date. And then the destination that we're going to does not have to be crazy. Like, we could go to the beach, we could go to a random field, not a field probably, but we could go to the beach, we could go to sunset, we could go maybe a body of water of some sort. Somewhere that's pretty to look at. Just something pretty. We could go to a flower field. We could go, I'm thinking beach. We go to the beach, we sit down. We've been talking about so many things in the car that we can just carry the conversation over and over and over. Sunset happens, sun goes down, gets dark, we get in the water because I love night swimming. We're swimming around. You're joking about, oh my god, there's a shark. I'm like, oh my gosh, let me see it because I'm not scared of sharks because I love sharks. We're joking. We get out. You have towels in your car. We get back in the car, we sit, we talk even more because we still have so much to talk about. You drive me home, you kiss me either in the car or outside of the car. Either one doesn't matter to me. We're not gonna fuck, we're not gonna do anything crazy. We're just gonna ease our toes into the water a little bit. And then you're gonna text me and say, like, I had such a great time, like, can I see you again? And I'm gonna respond the next morning. Dream date. Dream date. Dream fucking date. Obviously, this boy is not on this podcast. Like, he doesn't know about the podcast. So I just want to see like how close he gets to my dream date. And of course, that's a lot of pressure because you can't expect someone to take you on your dream date if you don't tell them your dream date. But however, also anyone listening, if you would like to take me on a date, for example, for any fun reason, that's my fucking dream date. Just gave you guys the entire handbook. Um but yeah, this is so much fun and I'm excited to see how it goes. But can we normalize not reaching out after the club? So that same night, another boy came up to me. He was smoking a cigarette and sorry mom, my bad. I wanted to take a hit of his cigarette. Is that what you call it? A hit? I never know what to say. Can I have a hit of that? I think it's a hit. I wanted a hit, so I asked for one and he gave it to me, and we were just sitting there chatting, but it felt very friendly. Like friendly. And then he asked for my number. Since he had let me hit that cigarette, I was like, you know what, fine, whatever, because I'm never gonna see this boy again. I'm never gonna text him again. And I give him my number. I leave with my friends. We're all having a great, great night. And then he texts me that night. He's like, hey, did you make it home safely? Ugh. Ugh. Why are you texting me? And then I didn't respond. The next day he texts me like, hey, it's blank from the club. No response from Joy once again because, oof. And then he texts me later in the day and sends a picture of his face and says, this is what I look like, by the way. So I unfortunately had to block him. You don't have to reach out to the people at the club that you meet. I know you want to. I know that's the whole point of getting their information, but let's just enjoy the environment. And we, as I said earlier, we can flirt, we can dance, we can chop it up. But me personally, my soulmates and the person that I'm meant to spend life with, I don't think I want to find downtown Tampa in a sweaty outdoor club on the 4th of July. And so I think I just would rather us normalize not trying to make that kind of connection and that big, like, step at the club, you know? Because when I'm giving you my number, I'm like, oh my gosh, fun, but you'll never hear from me again. And you're taking my number as like, this is my new girlfriend and I'm going to take her on a date. And that's just not the case. And I will stop giving out my number and stop giving out my information if I'm the problem. But I want to have the liberty of doing that and thinking, oh, this boy's just gonna be a new follower in my Instagram and maybe he'll like my stories every now and then, and maybe sometimes he'll DM me, but it doesn't have to be serious. And I don't have that pressure of like, okay, I cannot give him my number because he wants to take me on a date. You know what I mean? At the club, I also wrote this down. Do we want connection or attention? If I'm at the club out with my girls looking like a baddie, I want attention. I'm not looking for a connection. I'm literally looking for attention because I look so good. That's literally it. And I want to dance and I want to have fun and laugh and just like play with my hair and whatever and put lip gloss on. I'm looking for attention. I'm not searching for a soul tie. I'm not looking for a deep connection. And if you are one of these people who is getting the information and trying to follow up and trying to have a date and looking for a connection or looking for something deeper, are you going to the club looking for connection or are you going to the club looking for attention? Because if you're looking for a connection, maybe ask yourself, why is the club the spot that I'm looking for that? Maybe that's what you're into. Okay. But right now in my 20s, in my 20, cuz I'm actually only 20, I'm not looking for a man to uh marry me at the club. I'm looking for a man to buy me a drink. That's literally it. So that's kind of something to keep in mind. And now I want to talk about the concept of getting over someone. I feel like I've never gotten over someone in my life, but I finally did. I had this guy, we're going to call him Timmy, and I had a crush on Timmy for the longest time. I liked him so much. He was very, very close in my life, in my close circle. Someone I interact with almost on a daily, and I like really fell for this kid. And I've liked him for 2.5 years. And I finally have gotten over him. And the reason I know that I've gotten over him is because I'm able to have conversations with him about other girls and I can tell him about other boys and like our vibe, there's not a single spark anymore. There's no chemistry, there's no romance. It's so boy and best friend coded, and I fucking love it. I love going to him with like my questions and my, okay, well, this boy said this, like, what does that mean? Because you're a boy, so you can help me out. We're not trying to make each other jealous. We're not trying to keep each other in a little corner. We're not trying to like self sabotage or sabotage each other's relationships. We're just genuinely happy for each other and supporting each other. And it's been like this whole time, but all 2.5 years of us, whatever happened with us, like whether we were flirting or getting with each other or just friends or making each other jealous or sabotaging each other's like fun romantic relationships, all throughout our time it's been very very like charged with like chemistry between us. And now it feels like that chemistry has gone and that we've entered just this very very mutual understanding of like we aren't meant to be with each other, but we can watch each other succeed and be with other people and enjoy life, and we can be genuinely happy for each other. We were hanging out the other day and he was telling me about kind of like his love life lore, and I was telling him about mine. And like the amount of times I just was like giggling out loud and I was like, oh my gosh, like what a mess. Like I remember when I was the girl and I was stressing over it, and now I'm not. And now I'm happy for these girls because I'm like, how lucky you are to be with him in that kind of romantic way. But nothing will beat being able to go to the gym and spend 2 hours talking about like the crazy lore that we've both collected over the past 2 weeks. Nothing will beat that feeling. And I think it's just so amazing and it makes me feel so warm and cuddly inside. And no one believes me, obviously, because I've liked him for so long. Everyone's like, you're just lying, blah 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 blah. That's a lie. We know you're gonna get back with. No, I don't think so. I think that our time is up. I feel like we were only meant to be in each other's lives for this amount of time. I think really like the universe put us like dropped me right into his life and dropped him right into my life for those 2.5 years, and I've had a great time having a crush on him. He's a wonderful guy, and I want him to end up with literally a baddie who is so funny and makes him laugh and whatever, but I'm not the one for him and he's not the one for me. And I think we are able to see that in each other, and we're able to see each other's flaws very clearly. And I don't feel like there's like a blinded, like, someone was talking about rose colored glasses the other day. And I just remembered that. I don't have those like rose colored glasses on when I see him and think of him as just this like wonderful, wonderful man who I want to be with. I don't see him as that. I see him for who he is as a person, and he is not perfect. And he has his flaws and he has things that he needs to work on. And I'm able to see those things and be like, I don't think I could be in a relationship with a guy like that. That's not how I want to be treated. That's not how I want to, that's not who I want to be with. But I can wish the best for him and for any other girl who gets with him. And now it's just like we are like boy best friend, almost brother, boy best friend. But my question now is, do you guys think boys and girls can be boy and girl best friends? How would you feel if you knew that your partner had a boy or a girl best friend? Because I don't fuck with it. And these girls that he's talking to also don't fuck with it. Meaning they don't fuck with me. But that's not news to me. That's been happening for months, so whatever. But I just want to tell you guys about that because I love it. I fucking love it. Go get yourself a boy best friend. Go get yourself a girl best friend and be that best friend because it's so fun and so fulfilling. Okay, so you know how I usually give you guys advice or have like, I usually have like a concept that I've seen on TikTok that I've heard throughout the week and I've been like marinating and then I want to share it with you guys. So I have two. The first thing that I want you just to think of is this. If you walk into a fish store, even if you don't buy any fish, you still smell like it. If you sit on a balcony while your friends are all smoking cigarettes, even if you don't touch a single cigarette, you're gonna smell like cigarettes. If you spend an entire day at the pool with your friends, even if you don't get into the water, you might still smell like chlorine. If you put yourself into a situation, even if you don't participate, you're still associating yourself with that. Take that how you will. I'm still trying to figure out how to take it. But I think, like, who are you surrounding yourself with, and what activities are you doing, and what things are you getting up to that maybe you're not personally doing the action or buying the fish, for example, but if you're putting yourself into that environment, that's what you're going to get. There's this like thing, I don't really know who came up with it, but it's been a thing that like you show me your five friends and I'll tell you where you're going to end up in life. Or you show me like the closest, like your closest inner circle, and I'll tell you exactly what kind of person you are because you are who you hang out with. And those habits and hobbies of people that are around you are going to rub off on you, whether you want it to or not. I've surrounded myself by high performing individuals who are very, very locked in on life and on business and relationships, and being around them, even if I'm not actively doing those activities, being around them puts me into that kind of mindset. Puts me into the, okay, I need to find an internship because these four people that I see every single day all have internships. I need to get a full-time job because these people all have full-time jobs. Even if I don't get the internship, it's the mindset. That mindset that I have, that those people who are surrounding me have, I also adopt that. Now, it goes also the other way. I have some friends who don't have their lives together and they just like to kind of be degens all the time. And whenever I'm spending time with them, even if I'm not participating in the activity that they are doing, I'm having the mindset of like, ugh, life is not that serious. I'm just gonna kind of lay around. I'm not gonna do anything because of the people you're around. So keep that in mind. Who are you surrounding yourself with, especially at this age as we're growing up and we're being adults? The people that you're spending time with are most likely affecting the decisions that you're making and the mindset that you're having. And when you wake up in the morning, your mindset is influenced by the people around you. So, who are those people and what are those environments that you're putting yourself into? Is it good for you or is it not? Even if you don't do the bad thing, you can put the cigarette in your mouth and not smoke it. But if you're in that room with those people who think that's okay, you're going to also think that's okay because those are your friends, those are your people. You're going to defend them. Also, I don't know why I made the comment about cigarettes and then said it's not okay because I literally was just saying that I was smoking a cigarette. Sorry if you guys think I'm a hypocrite. If you smoke cigarettes, keep calm and carry on. I know it causes lung cancer, so maybe don't carry on, but this is not a dig at you. The people that you're around and the environments that you're putting yourself in are so important to know and to analyze and to think, is this good for me? Is this okay? Is this rubbing off on me? I'm not saying cut off everyone that doesn't do everything 100% right, but I'm just saying be aware of who you're putting yourself around and be aware of what environment you're in. So that's the first thing that I really want you to think about. The second thing is being by yourself because you can't be with someone who you want to change, okay? Consider how hard it is to change yourself. Think of the habits that you have that you cannot break. For me, I had a vaping addiction for so long. I think like right at the end of high school. And it wasn't the biggest, worst addiction. Like, I did quit on and off, but it was an addiction because it was something that I needed to do every single day. And as embarrassing as that is, I'm going to admit it because not proud of it, man enough to fucking say it. Consider how hard it is to change your own habits and to change yourself. Just think about that. Now, tell me why you think you can change someone else. That makes no sense. If I had such a hard time breaking my own habit in my own body, which I have full control of, no one's forcing a vape down my throat, no one's forcing me to do it. I'm choosing to do that, knowing it's a bad habit. Think of it was so hard for me to break that. And when I finally was able to break it, peace. What makes you think that you're going to be able to change someone else in their own body when you can't even change yourself? You know what I mean? And then we need to not go through life thinking of people with potential as like, oh, I can change them, I can fix this, this, and this. Think about your current partner if you have a partner, or a person that maybe you're trying to get into a relationship with, or I don't really know what your situation is. For me, it's just like the concept of like seeing someone thinking, okay, I really like them, but I really want them to be able to do this, this, and this, or whatever. Whatever your requirements are, whatever the this, and this of changing someone is, here's the question. Are you wanting the version of them right now or the version in your head that you think you can mold them into? If your answer is the second one, you need to not want them anymore because you should not want to be with someone that you're going to have to build up. I'm not a Love Island watcher, but I literally just saw a clip. I think it was Melanie I want to say her name's Anaya, but I genuinely am not following. He doesn't fit into your life. You would have to build him up to fit into your life. Why would you want to do that? Why would you want to find a man that is a project that you have to build up? We can't be looking at people as projects. We need to see them as who they are for what they are. When someone shows you who they are, believe them. Don't think, oh, but I can fix them because, oh, but if I give it enough time, they will. No. Think of, do you want them for who they are right now? Or do you want this version in your head that you think you can mold them into? Because news fucking flash, you cannot mold them into something else. Even if you want to, even if you try, even if it works for 10 days, even if it works for 2 years, you can't change someone. People have to change themselves and they have to want to be changed and they have to do the work. So why are we trying to find people who we can mold and build into our dream guy or our dream girl? Do you want them for who they are right now? If someone said to you, oh my gosh, you are exactly like blank, your partner, your crush, your fucking soulmate, if someone told me that, if someone told you that, would that be a good thing or would that be a bad thing? How would that make you feel? Because I'm thinking of a person right now. And if someone said to me, oh my gosh, you are exactly like blank, I'd be like, what the fuck? Don't fucking say that. That's so rude. So, what makes me think that I can change them into a completely different person? If that's my reaction to someone saying you're exactly like your partner, if that's your reaction, What makes you think that you can change them into something else? And why are you with someone who is that? Your partner, as I've said many, many times, and I've said this about your partner, I've said this about your friends, and this can apply to friendships too, I think, actually. If someone told me, oh my gosh, you and Frida are exactly alike, my heart would be swelling. I'd be so happy. I'd be like, oh my God, thank you. Like, because that's an extension of me, and that's someone that I look up to, and that's someone I want to be like. That's someone that I aspire to be like. If someone told me, oh my gosh, you are exactly like your ex from high school, that would tear me to pieces. I'd be distraught. So, is your partner, is your crush, is your soulmate, is your best friend, is your group of friends, is it someone that if someone compared you to them, you'd be proud and happy and feel good? Or would you be very hesitant and be like, please do not ever say that again? And if your answer is the second one, then you probably should get out of that relationship. That's just my 2 cents. And with that, what better note to end on with so many things to think about for the next upcoming week until the next episode? I feel like I've given a lot of like my opinions on things, and maybe you don't have the same opinion, but maybe it's some of the things you haven't even thought about. So hopefully I was able to give you something to like obsess over or think about or laugh about, literally any emotion. I hope you felt something as you listened to this, because I certainly did, and I feel great, and I love that I was able to get all of that off my chest. Thank you so much for listening, and I will see you guys all next week. Love you.